Yesterday, the App and Flow team released a new React Native animation library that is gonna blow your mind. But Beto, we already have React Native Reanimated. Why do we need a new animation library? I'm glad you asked, and the answer is performance. Hey, if you're new here, I'm Beto. I spent years building mobile applications at Walmart, then at Expo as a developer success engineer, where I helped thousands of engineers build production applications. Now, I run Code with Beto full-time, where I help developers master mobile development and ship real applications. We have some success stories, students who landed their first mobile dev role earning 6 figures, and others who are already making money from their applications on the stores. If you want to be part of that, I have a Discord community, a weekly newsletter, and a pro membership. All the links are in the description. Let's get into it. In today's video, we're taking a look at React Native Ease, a new animation library by the App and Flow team. It's designed for simple animations, and it comes with a nice and clean API inspired by CSS transitions. And the best part, this library has zero JavaScript overhead. Your animations run entirely on native platform APIs. There's no JavaScript animation loop, no worklets, no share values. You just declare what you want to animate, and the operating system handles the rest. Let's dive in. Okay, before I show you some examples and use cases, let's go through the announcement blog post from yesterday. By the way, this library was created by Yannick. He works at App and Flow. And in case you are not familiar with App and Flow, they are actually the creators of many React Native libraries that you might use, like React Native Safe Area Context. That's one of the most popular ones, but they also have so many, and the new one, React Native Ease. App and Flow has always been contributing to the React Native ecosystem. In my opinion, App and Flow is one of the best, if not the best, React Native and Expo agency. And if you don't believe me, just take a look at their landing page. They have this beautiful 3D element, and you can see some pretty cool details in here, like the Expo SDK logo and then the React Native logo here. It's just amazing. In my opinion, they are one of the best engineers out there. So if you need help with your application, or if you know anyone that needs an application, they can help you with that. So make sure to check them out. So let's understand the basics of how this library works. If we take a look at the core animation documentation here, it basically provides a general purpose system for animating views and other visual elements in your application. And the same goes for Android, and the equivalent API would be Animator. So if you are curious about the native implementation of this, you can take a look at the documentation. But basically, React Native Ease uses these primitives to implement native animations. And by doing that, you get smooth animations even when the UI thread is lagging. And here we have an example using React Native Ease versus React Native Reanimated. You can see that when the UI thread is lagging, the animation is going to start glitching. But because React Native Ease is using core animation and Animator from Android, it's going to keep working smoothly. I feel like Yannick did a great job explaining some of the most frequently asked questions, I think. So why do we need a new React Native library for animations if we already have Reanimated, right? And the answer is that React Native Ease is not a replacement for Reanimated. Reanimated works by running JavaScript on every frame on the UI thread. For simple animations, that's overkill. This is why on iOS we can use core animation, which runs animations completely off the UI thread. On Android, we can use Animator and avoid worklets and shared values entirely. And he talks about this idea and how it started years ago when Yannick was working on the animated implementation in React Native itself. So Animated and Reanimated are incredibly flexible, but they still don't leverage the platform animation APIs. They update views every frame on the UI thread. It's flexible, but not maximum performance. And this is where React Native Ease comes in. It provides simple animations that you would use CSS transitions for on the web. So for example, opacity, transforms, background color, border radius, non-layout props. And we also have, of course, some non-goals of this library, which is complex gesture-driven animations. In this case, you still need to use Reanimated. Layout animations, things that require to change the width, the height, the layout, that is not supported with this library. Shared element transitions and all architecture. Now that we know that, let's actually go ahead and install it. It's actually pretty easy. You can just copy the name React Native Ease, go to your project and just run bourne install React Native Ease, or you can just say npx expo install React Native Ease. Once you have installed it, you need to pre-build your application for iOS and Android and then recompile it. Once you've done that, you can start the server. And by the way, this is the code base of Plátano. Plátano is a template that we're working on, me and my team. And the goal is to provide a ready to monetize AI image wrapper. We're seeing a lot of nano banana wrappers, and me personally shipping my AI tattoo application, I learned a lot, and definitely I see a lot of potential targeting a different niche. So the goal of this template is to give you the opportunity to ship super quickly. Basically just change the app name, give it your primary color, and then you can ship your own version of this application and hopefully make some money. If you're interested, I'm gonna leave the link in the description. And this is how it looks. I mean, it works on Android out of the box. It uses native colors. And you know, here we have some ideas of what you can do, like changing your photo to be a cartoon or changing your hairstyle. And I'm working right now on the onboarding screen. All right, so this is a green implementation of the crossfade of the check icon, between the check icon and the circle icon. Every time that the user presses, we have this smooth transition. And so far I'm using animated view and I'm passing a animated style. And this of course requires me to use this hook, use animated style, and then declare this progress, which is a shared value. And we are doing this share value or creating this share value for each item on the list. So in this screen alone is 4 times, but I have other screens with more options. We could actually just use EaseView. So I'm just gonna go ahead and delete this, and I'm gonna show you how this would look like if we use EaseView. By the way, EaseView needs to come from React Native Ease. So let's import that and hit save. So this is how it looks. You just pass the animate and then transition type. You can check the types here. I'm using timing. So just by doing that, we can actually come here and delete this because I don't need it anymore. I'm also, by the way, animating the border color. And in this specific case, I actually need Reanimated because React Native Ease does not support border animation at the moment. I'm going to increase this to be 1 second just so that it's easy to see. You can see the crossfade beautifully, and that is running completely on the operating system. Let's take a look at iOS. It's just super nice. So here's another example. I have this congratulations step. Once the user answers all the questions in the onboarding, we present this beautiful screen. And as you saw, we are presenting each item with a delay and with a nice animation. And in this case, I'm going to show you the diff. So right now I'm using EaseView, and these are the values that we are providing. We have an array of delays so that we present everything nicely. And basically I just ask Claude to do this for me. So basically it's iterating over the delays and then setting the reveal step. Based on that, we are animating each view. And before that, we were using the fade down, importing this from Reanimated. And I think this is one of the most useful cases. You can just replace the simple animations like fade in, fade out. So this is how it looked before. I was using the animated view and I was passing the entering and the style. And now it's basically the same thing, just passing the animate and the transition. And this is how it looks on iOS. By the way, the UI is going to improve. Don't worry, I'm actually working on this. Looks super clean, I mean, super smooth. In the README, we have this table saying when we should use Ease versus Reanimated. And this is basically what I'm doing in Plátano. Enter and exit animations. Fade, slide, scale. On state change, use Ease. And then Reanimated when you need gestures like pan, pitch, layout animations, and complex interpolation. So for example, in the application, we support inching to zoom, and this I could not do this with Ease, of course, right? And we also have the playground. You can select multiple images, and right now I haven't done this yet, but I'm going to implement ease in and ease out and basically replace all the animations. Like in this case, you can just find this in your code base if you want to and just use EaseView. I'm going to wrap this in here and just remove the animated view. But before I do that, you can actually use the same style. Yep, just like that. And remove this. Hit save. And now we are using EaseView, which is more performant for this kind of stuff. And you don't need to import the animation, which is great. If you want to learn more about gestures and animations with React Native Reanimated and Gesture Handler, I have a whole section in my React Native course, link in the description. Check out React Native Ease and let me know what you think. I'll see you in the next one.